Hello, it's 53 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections. Hello and welcome to Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Kaloni. We are live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media handles and across the world on myjoyonline.com. You've been watching live pictures from Parliament. We'll take you back to Parliament so you can follow the proceedings there.
Having filed for a different party, you cease to belong to that party. That brought you to this August House. Having filed as an independent candidate, you fail or you have ceased to belong to that party. That brought you here. Or to the group, you have betrayed the group that brought you here. And therefore, you don't belong to them again. And that is squarely caught by Article 97 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, having filed your nomination, let's be very frank. I'm talking about common sense. Is the MPP or even we here saying that if we are going to have a caucus meeting to strategize on how to win the election, those who left our parties here and have filed as independent rep, we will invite them to that meeting? No. You will not invite them to that meeting. You will not invite them. Mr. Speaker, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baba, is going around campaigning. Are we saying that, are we suggesting that the MP for Suhum and the MP for Cynthia Agona West, I go around with him campaigning on what ticket? And what ticket? On what ticket? And similarly, the MP from our side in the Western North region, without common sense, that they are no more belonging to those parties. They have ceased to belong to those parties. And you don't need to wait until 7th January 2025. That doesn't make sense. Besides that, Mr. Speaker, if we are allocating resources now, whether the NDC or MPP, to their parliamentary candidates, will they allocate resources to those who have left their party and are standing independent? They will not. So common sense. Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, I think that the ruling by your predecessor, I wasn't here in 2020, but I've listened to it. The ruling that Professor Maekwe gave was very lucid and sound. And I get surprised that those who were hailing him in 2020 for that ruling are the people who are now crucifying him. What people are we? You who were hailing the ruling in 2020 are now those who are hailing, crucifying the same professor. Are we serious? Are we sincere? Mr. Speaker, what is killing Ghana today is corruption. It's corruption. Do we want to propose institutional corruption that you go and then ask people for a mandate and they give you with certain terms and you come here and pocket some money and then betray them? Is that what they want us to do? That is institutional corruption. That is what we want to prevent under the 1992 Constitution. And I thought that we should praise the 1992 Constitution, particularly Article 97. That said, you cannot take the people's right for granted. You cannot betray your people when you come here and want to chop a loan. That is a correct provision we have made, including several others. So for us to get up here and say that, in 2020 it was correct, but in 2024 now it is not correct. That's a double standards. Double standards, which cannot be attributed to the August House or members of this August House. So, Mr. Speaker, it's my humble submission that these our 4 honorable colleagues, once they have filed with the Electoral Commission, they have ceased to belong to their respective party that brought them here or their constituent that brought them here. And therefore, once they have ceased to belong to those parties, they have become, they have ceased to become members of this August House. And therefore, they could go home and then we can have our peace. They should go. Yes, there are no more members of Parliament. In that regard, tomorrow, Mr. Speaker, my humble submission that the minority leader becomes the majority leader. And then we will become the majority side. Because he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. Where are your clean hands? Where are your clean hands? When you were hailing the decision in 2020 and 2024, you are backtracking. Where are your clean hands? Common sense. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have listened to the comments from members after the minority leader submitted before the House a statement under Order 93. Both the statement and the comments have raised quite serious issues of procedure and substantive law. And I think I need time to go through them. Because what I believe is that do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And when you plant evil, you reap evil. And so I want to take a few days to submit a reasoned ruling in this matter. I see that this is not only an urgent matter, but a very serious national issue. And there's good reason why the constitutions after the 1960 Constitution differed because of the issue you are raising of some refer to it as cross-carpeting, others say crossing carpet. They refer to one and the same thing. So please, having gone through all these constitutions and having gone through all these parliaments in the Fourth Republic, and having experienced all what you have stated, I think I'll have to do justice to the subject. And so I need to present to you a very well thought out ruling, so that tomorrow I will not either be crucified or hailed, but the right thing would have been done. So I thank you all for taking your time to submit to us your understanding of both the procedure and the substantive law. My attention was drawn to this by the leaders that it is a serious matter. And it's true that the Honorable Haruna Idrisu gave me a copy of a notice of a petition on this matter. It was not a petition, it was a notice of petition. And you know through our procedures how they should be processed. And that is being done. That is different from the statement that has just been made. Even though the subject matter is the same, the procedures are different. It's also true that the majority leader drew my attention to the fact that he has sued me. Me, not Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagwin, but Speaker of Parliament. That office, not me in person. So he's taking that to the Supreme Court. I also listened to the comments on the proper venue. Those of you who commented talking about the High Court and the determination of these matters. They are disagreeing with his procedure of going to the Supreme Court. But the reliefs are quite different from what he said, what he told me, because I have not been served with the process yet. And so that is still not before me. So please kindly give me these 2 days, and I'll come here with a well-written ruling. I will submit it to all of you so that at the end of the day, justice would have not only been done, but would have been seen to be manifestly done in this matter. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, very humbly, I think that it will be fair that having made reference to the suit in my submission, and same having been referred to in your comment soon thereafter, as has been the practice of this House, it is appropriate that same is made available to the table office. So, Mr. Speaker, with your leave, it's a document that, Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, may I finish, Mr. Speaker?
Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, may I finish? May I allow, Mr. Speaker?
Please,
Mr. Speaker, these are the gentlemen who are seeking justice, and are obstructing justice. These are the gentlemen who some minutes ago were talking about justice. See them. See the lawyers amongst them. Mr. Speaker, I need to make my point, and I will make my point. I will need to make my point, and I will make my point. Mr. Speaker, this practice that when we are up on our feet, they will get up to obstruct must end. This must end. Mr. Speaker, what I am saying is that I referred to my suit in my submission. In your comments, you referred to the very suit that I filed at the Supreme Court. I am saying that as a House, the practice has always been that when you refer to a document, you make the document available to the House. Mr. Speaker, I am therefore seeking your leave to enable me make the document available through the table office so that it becomes part of the Hansard. Mr. Speaker, soon after my submission, Hansard department sent a lady. They came here with this, that they want this suit, and then the petition I read. They referred to the Harun Idris's petition. This is the notice they brought. It's here. Mr. Speaker, the notice of your petition. They brought this note. Mr. Speaker, Hansard brought me this note that they need this document. So I'm only being fair and candid by saying that in view of this, I want to tender this, make it available.
Honorable Majority Leader, this is complete abuse of process. I decline to grant you the leave. There is no rule permitting you at this stage, during this statement, to deliver or submit a paper just because somebody has referred to that paper. So please, that is not the practice, that is not the procedure. Honorable Member, your gesticulation will not change my decision. Please. Please. In the comments, you have referred to so many documents and so many lessons. Nobody during statement and comments will call on you to lay the document. Where is it done? It's not done anywhere in the world. There's no practice, there's no rule like that. Please, the proper thing will be done. The issue is before the court. The court believes will proceed to serve, and we have discussed this with the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice has given a directive, in fact, instructions to all registries in the country. And so they are following that. And at the appropriate time, those documents will be made available. And I think that the Hansard department are also jumping the gun. Once the matter is mentioned, it's mentioned, and you do so in the Hansard. You don't proceed to ask for the document just because somebody has mentioned the document. Then your Hansard will be such that we will not be able to read them. Please, whoever is behind that must stop. That's not parliamentary practice. Please, I have not granted leave.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, I shall yield to the position you've taken and have back the document. But Mr. Speaker, I want to underscore the point that the request that came was to the effect that because I have mentioned they would need the two documents, and this is the notice that was served on me. But Mr. Speaker, we still deal with gray areas. We still deal with gray areas. And I would be happy to always learn. Because after all, that was the encouragement you gave to us when you were the majority leader and we were young backbenchers in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, it is true that when statements are made and comments are made soon thereafter, documents are referred to in submissions, and they are not necessarily to be tendered. However, Mr. Speaker, as you underscored, we are dealing with a sensitive constitutional matter. Mr. Speaker, today it may appear as though we are, arguing for the sake of argument. But posterity will come and refer to this. Mr. Speaker, I remember, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I remember how Honorable Ayariga opposed vehemently the decision of Speaker Okwe. But today, in his argument, he says that we should worship that decision. I remember in 2020. I remember all of that. But Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Majority Leader, don't reopen this.
Mr. Speaker,
matter.
I'm not.
Please.
Mr. Speaker, I need a broad smile from you. That's all I want.
Please.
Then I'll withdraw.
Honorable members, Parliament is the highest platform for political discourse. So sometimes we understand this situation. And I'm happy that members don't take this to heart, and that after that, you still are the best of friends. So let's continue along that line. I will now beg of you for us to call it a day, unless you want us to continue.
No, please. Mr. Speaker, we agreed to lay some papers, please. Mr. Speaker, we agreed to lay some papers. I mean, that was the agreement we had. Mr. Speaker, I therefore...
Yes. Thanks for reminding me. We have some instruments that we have to lay because of the issue of 21 sitting days. And those are very critical instruments to be laid. So I'll grant permission for that to be done. Honorable members, at the commencement of public business, that is item 9 on the order paper. We finish 8, which is statements. Item 9, presentation of papers.
Go
at the commencement of public business.
Go ahead.
The following paper.
Well, you've been watching a debate from Parliament Live, where the Speaker has been petitioned to declare some 4 seats vacant. You heard the Speaker there. He's taking some few days to come back with his judgment, and you can trust Joy News to bring you details from that outcome of that particular debate. But moving to some other story, Minority Leader Dr. Kesel Atoforsen has berated government for what he says is the lack of political will to fight illegal mining. Ghana's water bodies and forests continue to be destroyed by illegal miners. Government has deployed soldiers to some areas in a renewed fight following pressure from civil society organizations and labor groups. Speaking on the return of Parliament, Minority Leader Dr. Kesel Atoforsen argued that the government has shown itself incapable of winning the fight.
Ghana is under the precipice of a self-inflicted environmental genocide and destruction. Our beautiful country, once called the Gold Coast, to underscore the rich mineral deposit God has bestowed on us, is fast becoming a pale shadow of itself. Mr. Speaker, our lands, with all its rich flora and fauna, are being destroyed by the day. Our once pristine rivers and water bodies are now looking as brown as coffee, having been poisoned to satisfy the insatiable greed of unscrupulous few of our citizens. Mr. Speaker, many farmlands, including cocoa farms, have been completely destroyed, and in their place are unattended pits and gullies from these uncontrolled mining activities. Mr. Speaker, according to the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the CSIR, it may take up to 300 years to restore the quality of soil damaged by these illegal mining activities. Right Honorable Speaker, it appears that Ghana is at war against itself, and the destructive effect of this frightening and far-reaching mining, Mr. Speaker, will go a long way to affect the lives of the people of Ghana.
But in a strong response, a Majority Leader Alexander Afenyomarkin accused the Minority Leader of seeking to politicize the fight against galamsey. He insists the President has deployed every tool in his armory to rid the forests and water bodies of illegal miners.
Mr. Speaker, we cannot, as a political class, blame game on galamsey and say that a particular political party, in this case, the Akufo-Addo administration, has failed in its fight against galamsey, and leave out what happened preceding the administration of Akufo-Addo administration. Indeed, it's a known fact that Akufo-Addo administration took a decision to deploy the Ghana Armed Forces through what is known as Operation Halt in the early years of his presidency, and the aim was to combat the threat of illegal mining, which was wreaking deliberate havoc on the nation's water bodies and forest reserves. And Mr. Speaker, it was because at the time he took office, the galamsey activity had gotten out of hand, and the then administration had no immediate answer to it. While the operation achieved some successes, various challenges arose that undermined the effort to fully eradicate the menace. Mr. Speaker, as a Parliament, it is important for us to acknowledge the President for taking a bold decision to fight the menace of galamsey.
Now, in a small farming town of Atronso, close to Sefi Bakwai, in the western region, illegal miners have defied a legal action brought against them by local farmers and have started polluting the Olin stream in the town. The miners claim to be working under a community mining scheme, but our checks indicate the mining activity is illegal. Farmers in the small farming town have been fighting a proposed community mining scheme in court, seeking to protect their lands and the Olin water source. Erastus Asaridonko has been on a fact-finding mission to the town and now report.
They are trying to rob us in broad daylight. This thing will not help our children if we allow it.
These are peasant farmers who have nothing but their lands and this beautiful ecosystem close to Sefibekwai. Two persons who do not hail from the town came under the banner of community mining to do small-scale mining, but the people said no. They are concerned about the degradation of the land and pollution of the Atronsu stream, considered a legacy bequeathed to them by their ancestors.
A few days ago, when we went to the farm, we couldn't use water from the stream to spray our cocoa. How do we live our lives if our livelihoods are being destroyed? God created the water. It's not in the hands of human beings to destroy it. Water is life.
But despite illegal action pending in court, the miners are still going ahead, mining inches from the stream. In this low-lying area, their embankment has broken down twice, spilling mining residue into the stream and denying the farmers water for irrigation. We were shown these mining licenses, but our checks indicated the mining activity here doesn't tally with the geolocation spelled out in the document. Our attempts to film the devastation was met with some resistance by some youth who insist mining should be allowed to give jobs to the youth.
We are men with no jobs. You have gone to school and you have a job. If you dare bring them to my land, I swear I'll go to jail again.
But an incensed farmer group in the town say the entire livelihoods of farmers in the area cannot be sacrificed for gold for a few.
Galamsey is not the only job on earth. You can get income from growing pepper, tomatoes, or okra. We have seen the devastating effects of galamsey elsewhere. What they are doing is not good. It is denying us of food. Farming is what puts food on the table for us. If they destroy the land, how would we survive?
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Atronsu, Western Region.
And here in studio, I'm Carlos Caloni. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more. Please stay. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service and youth bridge foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. And Electoral Commission Chairperson Jean Mensa has informed the various political parties the final voters register will be made available to them in the first week of November. Speaking at the IPAC meeting earlier today, Jean Mensa also urged political parties to entreat their supporters to take advantage of the online re-exhibition exercise, which lasts until the 19th of October, to ensure their details are well captured onto the EC's database. She says the Commission does not expect the current provisional register, which accommodates 18.8 million voters, to be entirely different from the final one. The following report has more.
Well, the second ever IPAC meeting to allow media access has concluded. The meeting, which was chaired by the EC chairperson, Jean Mensa, bordered on a variety of issues, including the new online exhibition exercise, which is beginning from now till the 19th of October.
And I think I omitted to mention that the Commission will provide the certified voters register to the political parties in the first week of November. It's important to emphasize, and I think I talked about this in my presentation, and that we do not envisage that the final voters register would be a marked difference from the provisional voters register. As you can see, a lot of effort has been made to ensure that every applicant who registered, whether in 2020, 2023, and 2024, are on there. And so in arriving at the ballot statistics, although we do not have a final voters register, what we have done is to take the total number of valid voters, and we've added 2%, an increment of 2%. We believe that this is adequate to take care of registered voters.
And of course, as is characteristic of every IPAC meeting, all the parties represented had their time to share their concerns and grievances.
We are in 2024. We have crossed over 2020, and we've even had an election in 2023. That issue didn't arise in 2023 for the district assembly election, mind you. And we also had limited voter registration in 2024. Up to all this one, this is the last part he started mentioning those issues. When they did the first exhibition, why didn't he read his overhead? We are saying that the issue of your e-exhibition, don't forget, they were trying to run away and say they are not doing exhibition. And they were trying to say that they have put the thing online, just on their website. Don't forget, they are still doing a re-exhibition. This is an exhibition exercise they are doing. They've given a timeline. And it's fall within regulation 23 of CI 91. We are clear in our mind.
Without their consent, when we met here at Alisa on the 1st of October, it turned out that the NDC's issue didn't have any grounding. Today, 2 weeks after the first meeting, that the media covered it live, the NDC gave out 3 names of people who are having voter ID card, but bear different individuals. The EC checked and pointed out to all of us that NDC is holding a certain data which does not exist in the system. So don't be confused with what the NDC will submit to you.
It's been a thoroughly successful IPAC meeting which has eventually come to an end. From the Alisa Hotel, my name is Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
Now, presidential candidate of the Ghana Freedom Party, Ikea Donko, has threatened to sue NDC flag bearer and former President John Dramani Mahama over comments regarding some qualified presidential candidate in this year's elections. Ikea Donko took issues with Mahama's public endorsement of PNC flag bearer Bernard Mona, who was disqualified by the Electoral Commission as a more suitable candidate to have appeared on this year's election ballot paper than some other approved by the Electoral Commission to contest, including herself. Speaking at the IPAC meeting earlier today, Madam Ikea Donko threatened to sue John Mahama, although the former president never addressed her by name when he passed that comment.
No one saw one phone number. Ni na ka ho. Me ni woman no amoka ni no. Na so metimi akosai. Metimi akosai. Haji almost say bia ni efie no ma ni phone number go so. Wo mo etimi na sa woti ha. Na sa so ni mo manti. Wa for computer atna ho. Na wa twetwe na dia beto ani mu a. E video na ehwe. Ntumi na ka say. E na o ya fa me ye jawo. Wo ya waduma ya. Ma no wanta obia. Doma, I do my way, or Doma in Crawford. And this other case I said it's area. They catch one there. On Antonia Mahamano was so on Antenna, the real court. The real court. Look at the patch. The real court. Because soon 2 billion, 3 million, magic of Mahama. 17,000 other men to cut here. Let me know. I am to say, and you can see a family. Now, and I said in Ghana.
Now, Ikea Donko was not the only candidate who took offense to former President Mahama's comments. Leader of the Liberal Party of Ghana, Kofi Akpaloo, and that of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga, argued that Mahama's statement discredits their candidacy.
So let's be sincere. Political parties here have gone through a lot of work to qualify. And we have qualified, and if those who have not qualified has a problem, it is not on someone to sit on a different platform and say the EC is discriminatory. For the fact of the matter, I believe those of you here, in 2016, 13 political parties were disqualified under the same regime. The person who said it is discriminatory, it was under his regime that we started disqualifications of political parties. I was affected. Meanwhile, I filled my form well.
All the 13 candidates are qualified and well qualified and worthy to be on the ballot. Sometimes they tell him, I don't call, he didn't go to school, so he doesn't qualify to be there. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says that if you are not somebody who can write or who can read or who can speak good English, you should not be on it. So far as you are 40 years and sound mind, and you can fill your form. So a time can come that we may have 1,000 people applying. So far as the Constitution as it is has not been amended, nobody can prevent anybody from.
Now away from politics, Suhum PRESEC Senior High School, popularly known as Suhum PRESEC, has bounced back with vengeance. After being shown the door at the regional stages last year, Suhum PRESEC has made a triumphant return in the 2024 NSMQ, taking the first contest of the day by storm. With their eyes on redemption, they didn't just qualify, they dominated, securing a well-deserved spot in the 1/8 stage. It looks like this time Suhum PRESEC is determined to pre-secure their place in the contest. Joy News' Adobia Sari has more.
Right, so you can feel the excitement here. Suhum PRESEC have made it through the prelims and they are going to the 1/8 stage. We want to talk to them. How do you feel about
the runner-ups? But this year, since we've won, we know that we'll go higher and go above where our seniors reached. Yeah.
So, my dear, would you say this competition was easy for you? Because you people were leading with very high marks. I mean, you were in a comfortable lead from the first round to the 5th round. You've not met the other schools who can rub shoulders with you. Does this? What do you have to say about that?
Well, we are not really being afraid. Like, there's nothing to scare us right now because I think we have a great start. So, yeah, we can make it.
So, are you telling me that you are going to go far? You are actually winning this?
Yes. We can say we are going to win this 1/8 contest. Yes, with God on our side. Because even says, Causes and Charlotte are prepared for our battle, but God's give you glory. So with God on our side, we are going to win.
Okay. So what makes you outstanding? Because everybody's mentioning God. So apart from God helping everyone, what else are you doing differently that will cause you to win in the next stage and beyond?
Okay, we just believe in everything we have done in our training and everything. So that it will be hard, we know, but the road will be rough and we will still get there. So with our training and everything, we are just hoping to get there. And with God, everything will be possible.
Okay, so they believe that they are training hard enough to make it through the 1/8 competition, the 1/8 contest, and even beyond. So we live to see that. For Joy News, my name is Adobia Asari.
That's all we have time for. You can log on to myjoyonline.com for more stories. My name is Carlos Caloni. Thank you so much for watching. Prime Minister.